Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so real, that for a fleeting moment after waking, you weren't entirely sure it was a dream? What if I told you that lingering doubt, that subtle confusion, might be closer to the truth of our everyday existence than you could ever imagine? For centuries, philosophers and mystics have whispered about the illusory nature of reality. But what if modern science, surprisingly, is starting to catch up? In the next few minutes, we're going to dive headfirst into some mind-bending theories that challenge everything you thought you knew about your world, your senses, and even your own memory. Prepare to question reality itself. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Please comment what you want to suggest to me. That will be the motivation for me to make videos every day. Thank you very much. Now let's get back to the topic. Is our reality just a grand illusion, challenging what we think we know? The deceptive dance of our senses. Let's start with a concept that sounds straight out of a science fiction novel, yet has surprisingly deep roots in quantum physics and esoteric thought. The holographic universe theory, popularized by thinkers like Michael Talbot in the early 90s, this idea suggests that our entire universe, from the subatomic particles to the vast galaxies, might actually be a giant, incredibly detailed hologram. Think about that for a second. Not just a simulation, but a projection, where every tiny fragment contains information about the whole. It's like breaking a photographic plate of a 3D image. You don't lose part of the image, each piece still shows the entire picture, just less clearly. Now, why would anyone seriously propose such a radical idea? It stems from observations in quantum mechanics, where particles seem to be interconnected in ways that defy our classical understanding of space and time. Imagine two particles light years apart, instantaneously influencing each other. How is that possible unless, at some fundamental level, they're not truly separate but part of a larger, indivisible whole? This theory posits that what we perceive as solid, individual objects are merely projections from a deeper level of reality, a realm of pure information and energy. It blurs the lines between what we label science and spirituality, suggesting they might just be different lenses through which we view the same ultimate truth. If this is true, then our conventional scientific instruments, designed for a material world, might be missing the true underlying structure. This brings us to another ancient philosophical conundrum, the dream argument. What if our waking life is simply a very, very convincing dream? Think about your dreams. When you're in one, especially a vivid one, it feels absolutely real. You experience emotions, interactions, and consequences. It's only upon waking that you realize the fantastical elements, or inconsistencies. The only exception is lucid dreaming, where you become aware you're dreaming while still in the dream, gaining some control. But for most of us, most of the time, our dreams are indistinguishable from reality until the alarm clock rings. Philosophers like René Descartes famously grappled with this. How can we truly be certain that our waking experiences aren't just an incredibly detailed and coherent dream, a grand illusion that lasts a lifetime, if our senses are so easily fooled and our brains can construct entire worlds while we sleep? What definitive proof do we have that the real world isn't just the most sophisticated dream of all? Could our entire existence be one long, lucid dream, but without the lucid part where we realize it? The very idea is unsettling, yet it forces us to confront the limitations of our own perception and the astonishing power of our minds to create subjective realities. Before we dismiss this as pure fantasy, let's talk about the very tools we use to perceive reality, our senses. We tend to trust our eyes, ears, touch, taste, and smell implicitly. Seeing is believing, right? But what if those very senses are inherently flawed and subjective? Consider the animal kingdom. We humans perceive a vibrant world of color, sound, and texture. But a dog, for example, sees a more muted palette, largely blind to certain colors we take for granted. Yet, their sense of smell is astronomically superior, allowing them to detect a universe of scents we can't even register. Cats see clearly in near darkness, while some insects, like bees, can see ultraviolet light, perceiving patterns on flowers that are invisible to us. Snakes see in infrared, sensing heat signatures. This isn't just a fun fact, it's a profound revelation. If different species, existing in the same physical space, perceive vastly different realities, what makes us so confident that our reality is the correct or complete one? Think about the famous dress optical illusion that broke the internet a few years ago. Was it blue and black or white and gold? Millions of people saw it differently, demonstrating how easily our brains can interpret the exact same visual input in fundamentally distinct ways. Our perception of time itself is also subjective. A fly, for instance, perceives time moving much slower than we do, which is why it's almost impossible to swat. Their tiny brains process information so rapidly that our hand movements appear to them in slow motion. If our basic sensory perception of time and space can be so easily skewed, how can we truly rely on them to define what's real and what's not? The mythical Kunlun Mountains, doorways to other dimensions? Now, let's bridge the gap between abstract theory and our own biology. The holographic universe concept isn't just about cosmic scales. Some researchers, including Michael Talbot, applied it to the human brain itself. For decades, the prevailing scientific view was that memories were stored in specific locations in the brain, like files in a cabinet. You'd find the childhood memories folder here and the skills folder there. But experiments, particularly with patients who had parts of their brains removed due to injury or illness, showed something remarkable. Despite significant sections of their brains being gone, these patients didn't lose specific memories entirely. Instead, their memories became fuzzier, less distinct, but the entire memory was still accessible, albeit in a degraded form. This is strikingly similar to how a hologram works. If you cut a piece of a holographic plate, you don't lose part of the image. You still see the entire image on the smaller piece, just with less clarity and detail. This suggests that memory, and perhaps consciousness itself, isn't localized but distributed throughout the brain, much like information is distributed in a hologram. If our brains operate on holographic principles, constantly constructing our reality from a vast field of information, then the idea of a holographic universe becomes less fantastical and more a reflection of our own internal workings. It implies that our individual perceptions are not just subjective, but actively constructed by a brain that's itself a holographic receiver and projector. Let's shift gears to a theory that has captivated imaginations for centuries, blending elements of science, mythology, and even conspiracy: the Hollow Earth theory. This isn't just some fringe idea. From YouTube, it has a surprisingly rich history, with proponents among prominent scientists and philosophers throughout the ages. In the 17th century, none other than Edmund Halley, famous for Halley's Comet, proposed a model of the Earth as a series of concentric spheres, nested within each other, each with its own atmosphere, and even life. He used this to explain anomalies in the Earth's magnetic field. Fast forward to the 19th century, and an American named John Cleves Sims Jr. became the most famous advocate for the hollow Earth. His version included colossal openings at the North and South Poles, gateways to an inner world. He even planned an expedition to the Arctic to find one of these entrances. While ridiculed by mainstream science, his ideas resonated with the public and fueled a fascination with hidden worlds. This theory suggests that the Earth isn't a solid core, but a vast interior with its own sun, climate, and even advanced civilizations or ancient races. It sounds like pure fantasy, but the persistence of this idea speaks to a deeper human desire to believe in hidden wonders and unexplored frontiers within our own planet. From the abstract to the deeply rooted in folklore, let's explore a geographical location imbued with incredible mystery: the Kunlun Mountains of China. In ancient Chinese mythology, Kunlun isn't just a mountain range, it's the axis of the world, a sacred peak, the source of mighty rivers, and the home of immortals and mythical creatures. It's described as a paradise, often associated with the legendary Queen Mother of the West, who possessed peaches of immortality. For centuries, the Chinese have revered Kunlun as a symbol of their civilization's origin and spiritual power. But alongside its spiritual grandeur, Kunlun also holds a chilling reputation. Locals and explorers whisper of a specific valley within the range, known as the Door to Hell or the Valley of Death. Shepherds refuse to enter, even if their livestock strays inside. Stories abound, a shepherd entering the valley to retrieve his sheep, only to be found dead later, eyes wide open, gun clutched in his hand, with no apparent cause of death. A geological team in July, experiencing a sudden, inexplicable snowstorm and powerful thunder, found the ground charred black, littered with animal carcasses and bones. Scientific investigations later revealed extreme magnetic field anomalies in the area, leading to theories that these strong electromagnetic forces, interacting with storm clouds, could generate powerful lightning strikes, making it a natural death trap. It's a place where myth and terrifying reality seem to converge, hinting at forces beyond our easy comprehension. Continuing our journey into hidden realms, we arrive at Shambhala, a legendary kingdom in Tibetan Buddhist and Hindu traditions. Said to be nestled deep within the Himalayas, Shambhala isn't just a geographical place, it's a spiritual ideal, a pure land where enlightened beings reside, protected from the greed and chaos of the material world. Ancient Sanskrit texts and Bon scriptures speak of it, and it has inspired countless explorers, mystics, and even Hollywood films like Lost Horizon. What's fascinating is the consistent narrative surrounding Shambhala. It's not easily found by ordinary means. It's said that only those with pure hearts and karmic merit can perceive it. Some interpret it as a physical place hidden by mist or advanced technology, while others see it as a metaphor for an inner state of spiritual awakening. The famous Russian philosopher Nicholas Roerich, during his expeditions in Central Asia in 1926, claimed to witness a golden sphere floating over the Altai Mountains, an event many believe was a sign from Shambhala. Even the Nazis, in the 1930s, launched expeditions to Tibet, seeking this mythical land, perhaps believing its power could aid their cause. The persistent mystery of Shambhala, whether a physical haven or a state of consciousness, reflects humanity's eternal quest for peace, enlightenment, and a perfected existence beyond our current struggles. So what do these disparate ideas, the holographic universe, the subjective nature of perception, the dream argument, the holographic brain, the hollow earth, and the mythical Kunlun and Shambhala all have in common? They each, in their own unique way, challenge our fundamental assumptions about reality. They suggest that the world we perceive, the solid ground beneath our feet, might be far more fluid, more interpretable, and more illusory than we dare to imagine. It's easy to dismiss these concepts as fantasy or pseudoscience, but perhaps that's precisely the point. Our senses, our scientific instruments, and our conventional understanding are designed to perceive a certain level of reality. What if there are layers beyond, dimensions unseen, information fields undetected, or even entire civilizations hidden within our own planet? The human brain is a marvel of pattern recognition, but it's also a master illusionist, filling in gaps, filtering information, and constructing a coherent narrative from a torrent of raw data. The question isn't just about what's out there, but what's in here, how our own minds shape, and even create the reality we experience. Real-life implications beyond the screen. Let's ground this in a relatable, though somewhat humorous, real-life scenario. Imagine you're a devout fan of virtual reality. You spend hours in intricate VR worlds, interacting with characters, solving puzzles, building communities. To your VR avatar, that world is real. The sensations, the challenges, the triumphs, they all feel authentic. Now, what if you were so deeply immersed, so technologically advanced, that you couldn't tell the difference between the VR world and your real desk chair? This is a simplified analogy, of course, but it captures the essence of the simulation hypothesis, another cousin to the holographic universe theory. Elon Musk famously suggested that the odds we aren't living in a simulation are 1 in billions. Think about that. If a highly advanced civilization in the future could create simulations indistinguishable from reality, and given enough time, they would create many such simulations. Then statistically, it's more likely we're in one of their simulations than in the original base reality. This isn't about little green men or flying saucers, but about the very nature of information and consciousness. It forces us to ask, if reality is a construct, what does that mean for our free will, for our purpose, and for the very concept of truth? This isn't just abstract philosophy. It has profound implications for how we live our lives. If reality is, to a large extent, a product of our perception and our mind's construction, then we hold immense power. Think about the placebo effect in medicine. A sugar pill, given with the belief that it's a powerful drug, can often produce real physiological changes, sometimes even curing ailments. Why? Because the patient's belief, their perception of the pill's power, literally reshapes their internal reality. Similarly, consider the power of mindset. An optimistic person might see challenges as opportunities, while a pessimistic person sees insurmountable obstacles. The external circumstances might be identical, but their internal reality, and thus their experience, is vastly different. This isn't just positive thinking, it's acknowledging that our consciousness plays an active, not just passive, role in shaping the world we inhabit. If the universe is a hologram, and our brains are its receivers, then perhaps by changing our internal frequency, our beliefs, our thoughts, we can literally tune into a different version of reality. The ideas we've explored also hint at the existence of dimensions or layers of reality beyond our immediate grasp. The very fact that our scientific instruments can detect things our senses cannot, like UV, radiation, radio waves, or magnetic fields, confirms that there's more to the universe than what meets the eye or ear, or touch. Mystical traditions across cultures have long spoken of unseen realms, spiritual planes, or energetic matrices that underpin the physical world. Perhaps the holographic universe is just a modern scientific attempt to describe what ancient wisdom traditions have known all along. Whether it's the hidden dimensions of a holographic projection, the secret cities within a hollow earth, or the spiritual enlightenment of Shambhala, the common thread is the idea that our ordinary, mundane reality is just one facet of a much grander, more complex, and ultimately more mysterious existence. It invites us to cultivate a sense of wonder, to remain open to possibilities that defy conventional logic, and to look beyond the surface of things. So, what's the ultimate takeaway from all this? The profound lesson is that to truly understand reality, we must first understand the limitations and incredible power of our own perception. Don't blindly trust your senses, but don't dismiss them either. Instead, cultivate a curious and open mind, question assumptions, explore different perspectives. The greatest achievement, as some philosophers suggest, isn't about conquering the external world, but about freeing ourselves from the illusions that blind us. This journey of self-discovery, of peeling back the layers of perceived reality, is the true adventure. Whether our lives are a dream, a simulation, a hologram, or something else entirely, the power to define our experience, to seek deeper truths, and to ultimately awaken to a broader understanding of existence lies within each of us. The universe, in all its mystery, is waiting for you to truly see it. What's your biggest takeaway from these theories? Have you ever had an experience that made you question reality? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this exploration fascinating, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more mind-bending content. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep dreaming lucidly.